Hello, thanks so much for being here. This is Jensen with Soft Edges, and this is your video for the energy read for Sagittarius season 2025. Better late than never. It has been a doozy. Mercury has been in retrograde, Saturn has been in retrograde, Uranus is retrograde, Neptune's retrograde. There's all the things happening, so here we are, and let's get into it. The sun entered Sagittarius on the 21st of November and will move out of Sagittarius and into Capricorn on the 20th of December. It is during this Sagittarius season that Mercury went direct. Venus is moving into Sagittarius. We're having the Gemini full moon, the Gemini full moon, Sagittarius new moon. You'll have to excuse the noise. We're having a beautiful snowstorm today, and there's just lots of noises to tend to that snow today. In this time, let's see what else happens. We have Venus, like I said, moving into Sagittarius. We have Mercury moving into Sagittarius. Mars will enter Capricorn on the 14th of December. Yeah, and then in between that time, something else is worth mentioning is on the 10th of December, Neptune will station, this is big news, station direct in Pisces, and this is the last time this is going to happen in our lifetime. So we're really paying attention to this energy. Let's see what the cards have to say, how that energy might manifest, and all the other things that might come up during Sagittarius season for us. Now, Sagittarius is mutable fire, so this can be really flexible. Sagittarius is the scholar. It loves to travel. It loves learning, and just it's ruled by Jupiter, so it's expanding in all the ways that it can. And that makes makes Sagittarius a really expansive sign in so many different ways. But something to be mindful of is it can also be a nervous energy. There's something about Sagittarius that just like the fire in it really creates some friction sometimes, because there's other stuff happening in the sky that reminds us that we have to be somewhat contained in most areas of our life, and Sagittarius doesn't want to be contained. So sometimes it can create this like nervousness. Judith Hill recently talked about some Sagittarius energy being kind of like, Sagittarius is a horse in a stall and it wants to burst out of that stall, but it's being held back, and just like what it feels like, that tension feels like when it's having to be held back or restricted in some way. So that's worth remembering about Sagittarius. Sagittarius also rules the hips and the low back, and just being really mindful of tending to this part of our bodies this month. And we might experience some inflammation. We have Mars that's moving through Sagittarius, creating some heat. Also with Mercury being there, just paying attention for slips and falls, especially if people are in the winter climates like me. Let's see what the cards have to say. Let's see. We've got our decks. I'll list them below, the ones we're working with this month. What do we need to know about Sagittarius? How might we experience this energy? Let's see. How might we experience Sagittarius energy? Let's hope I don't light my cards on fire. It's been happening a lot lately. How might we experience this Sagittarius season? All right, we got some cards. How many is here? All right, just two. I'll take two. Let's see. We have the Three of Cups. We have the Seven of Pentacles. I might move these up. Let's see. There's that. Seven of Pentacles. And then we have one more right here. And we have the Seven of Swords. So curious. All right. I was also curious about, I have a deck that's really astrology based, and I just was curious, like, what could we be paying attention to during the Sagittarius season? Like in the sky, the midheaven came out. Really interesting. I'm curious to see how that is going to play out into this reading. I have the listening oracle for I'm going to do two messages. I'm getting like there's a connection between all these. So I'm going to do one here and one here. So let's do like connecting the Three of Cups with the Seven of Pentacles. Thank you, angels. And we have the Self. Nice. And then let's see, we're connecting the Seven of Pentacles with the Seven of Swords. Oh, this is really interesting. I'm already getting something. Wow, okay. I see what you mean. Beautiful. Right off the bat, I'm noticing some themes that don't surprise me at all about Sagittarius season. It's during Sagittarius season that we have Thanksgiving and we're connecting with people, and this feels like really lovely, and we're seeing the ways that we're all intertwined and how we all bring something to the table. We all have something to offer. I like this sense of perhaps vulnerability that's existing within this Sagittarius season with our people that might be different than we're used to. I'm also noticing with the Seven of Pentacles, the Seven of Pentacles is a card that requires patience. Like we're building something tangible, so something usually in our material world, like a project or, even though it's not cups, I would say that there is a material aspect to building a relationship, building something in your work. And there's an energy here that's saying like, you can't pick what is the saying? Like, you can't, why are saying so hard for me? You can't pick the roses before they're bloomed? I don't know. That's just what came into my head, and this like makes me think of this too. Yeah, there's something here around just like, and usually this sometimes can be like impatient. This can be that like wanting, oh, this is perfect. This is the energy of like where we want to grow and expand, but like it takes time. We're building something and we want it to be long lasting. So how can we remember to be patient? I'm curious with the midheaven card here too, connected with this, of like the midheaven is where we're the most visible. It's like the very top, like if our chart is a circle, the IC is like our childhood home. It's where we come from. It's our current home. It's our family of lineage. And the top of the chart is usually connected to like where you're the most visible and your work, something you're known for. So there's something here around being patient because you're being watched in some way. This is like, this waiting period is a really one that is, it's like not happening beneath the surface. It's not happening underneath, beneath the, or behind the scenes. There's really something happening here around you're being watched in your patience and what that looks like. Like, do you have the skills to see something through? And someone's watching you in that, the Sagittarius season. We also have the Seven of Pentacles and, the Seven of Swords. And this card is interesting, especially with like the Self here, and I see what you mean. There's something about either someone not being completely honest with you, maybe perhaps it's around like the actual timeline of how long you'll have to wait for this to come through. I want to mention now too, because it's coming through pretty strongly, is that Sagittarius rules the 9th house in astrology, and the 9th house is related to like higher learning. It's related to long distance travel and our philosophies. And I'm getting something here around the I see what you mean is adding to like that what you see is not really what you get. Like there's some dishonesty around what you're actually seeing and what's actually happening beneath the surface. In order to know the truth of this, just being mindful of this, you'll have to be really tapped in and grounded in the self. And ways to keep coming back to yourself over and over again is through your connections, is remembering the importance of seeing something through, the importance of waiting for something. I'm seeing in my mind right now that this guy is, or this person in their mind, I'm seeing like he's really tempted to pull out the sword and harvest. Like you might get really anxious. You are that horse in the stall that wants to charge forward and move towards something. Wait. Someone's watching you. Wait. Like the path is being laid out for you, and it'll be very clear how to move forward even while you wait, because there's still stuff that's going to be happening. But remember to be really, know who you are, what you want. There's like some different things going on here. Like if this is related to work, I'm going to start there. If this is something that's related to work with you and you're feeling impatient and someone might be like stringing you along or not giving you all the facts or the information, there's something here around making sure that you know what your goals are. And for whatever reason, I get a sense that you're really connected to a community. And this makes me think of like close friends type community. Not that this isn't for something long lasting, but like there's something around maybe your coworkers as your friends. Anyways, like to get back in touch with yourself and your goals and like what you're doing in the first place, it'll be really important for you to bounce off the people around you, what you're experiencing. Like this, I'm getting a sense that this isn't something you should like keep hidden. I think it's okay to be honest and say to people like, something doesn't feel right here. I don't feel like I'm getting the full story. And just like think through talking it out. Some truth does come forward. There is just so much here about like you're on a stage right now and you're being watched. And I don't think this is like in a negative way. And I don't think this is something you should be afraid of. If anything, it'll help expose this and whatever you're not seeing clearly. I'm seeing right now in my mind like a puppeteer behind the scenes, like playing this like beautiful character, but behind the scenes is this like dumpy, creepy person. I don't know how to explain it. Like something that's kind of like alluring in some way, but isn't all that it seems. I feel like this is like a lot kind of going on here. And I just want to recap that like during Sagittarius season, it's going to be really important for us to like stay connected to our people, to use them as a way for us to stay grounded. Again, being vulnerable and sharing where we're at, how full or how empty our cup is and what we need. We're remembering to be really patient because while we're waiting for things to bloom, there's a lot of energy here on waiting. I'm really feeling like hot all of a sudden, like there's a lot of tension around waiting, but it's so important, this waiting, because you are on a stage in this waiting. And to be really mindful of like who might not be who they say they are or who is not giving all of the information. I am getting here, just I'm thinking about like collective and some stuff that's happening, I don't know, politically, I guess, that there is still smoke and mirrors occurring. And like, if that's the case, if this is like the smoke and mirrors, there's a little bit of us focusing on, we're so focused on this that we're forgetting about the other things that are occurring outside of this. I want to see like what is actually happening outside of this. What is happening outside of the Seven of Pentacles? We had quite a few cards coming out, and we got the Six of Swords and also the Nymph of Swords. And first I'll start with the Six of Swords. So interestingly enough, like what's happening outside of this hyper focus, hyper fixation is more waiting. It's like a needing to move on. Like the Six of Swords is typically a card of like having to move forward, having to move on, but she's sitting and it's getting cold and she's not prepared for the cold. So perhaps that's part of it. Is just like what's happening outside of this hyper focus is like some preparing that needs to be done. Yeah, I'm also hearing with the Nymph of Swords, like getting things in order, making sure you have like a light, whether that's energy or resources, in order for you to lead your way. Yeah, there's going to be need to have a sharp focus. And like knowing where your team is, knowing what's working. So I think that's something really important to remember and focus on this month is, oops, I just realized this is not in view, sorry. So if this is happening and this is maybe our system at large, and like only take this part if it resonates. We already have, if this is happening in your individual life, like someone not being completely honest in your work or in your home or in your relationship. But if we zoom out on a bigger scale and we're talking about like the collective, and this is being like a bigger system being dishonest, and like we're so focused on this thing that we're not paying attention to like what's going on. What's happening is just like this moving on that we need to do, that we're like resisting. is not happening. And also what's happening on the outside is like there are so many people and things at work. And then it'll be really important for us to make sure that, you know, in the season of giving and all of the stuff that happens in Sagittarius season, it's like a lot of shopping and a lot of like gift giving and rushing around. There's lots of parties, and like this is just part of it. This is just what we do. And yet, like, let's not be so busy that we are like pushing everything else to the wayside, like the growth that we've been making, the changes that we've needed, making sure we have our like light and dark, again, like energy, resources, our team of people, and the divine. Lots going on in the Sagittarius season. I'm really curious to see how it lands, especially again because I'm just thinking about the things that are happening behind the scenes, but something that's like really obvious at the same time. I can't wait to see how this lands. Thank you so much. Have a great Sagittarius season, and we'll see you on the other side. Keep your eyes out for lots of videos coming this month. I have an upcoming video with a friend of mine doing a Mercury retrograde recap. We have the new and full moons coming out, the week ahead readings, and some walkthroughs. And yeah, it's just been a pleasure, and I'm so grateful for anyone who's able to join me in these. Thanks so much, and I'll see you on the other side.